Okay, so as you can see, we are still working on comparing decimals. And one thing that we are struggling with is looking at place value and identifying what place value tells us about the decimals. And so today, or at this moment in time, we have 1/10, which the students have drawn a model for. And then we have 5/100ths, which my students have drawn a model for. The first rule that I think that we need to keep in mind, again, is that it's important that we line up the decimal. All right, so in lining up the decimal here, we have 1/10, and then we have 0.05, which technically is read 5/100ths. All right, understanding that this 0 is a place saver, you can also add a 0 to the 1/10 and it not change the value of that decimal. You can also add a 0 in the hundredths place because, again, it is not changing the value of 1/10. Now, you may change your reading of this and read that as 10 hundredths now, but you would definitely not change the value of it because your models would still stay the same. So when you look at this, again, we are going to look at the largest place value. Which class? What is the largest place value in this number? Say it loud. No. Thank you. You're right, Xavier. Everybody said 5, and that's not what I asked. I did not ask you what the largest digit was. I asked you what the largest place value. The largest place value technically is 1. So when we look at the ones place, we're going to go ahead and hopefully, maybe, if the board will come, there we go. We're going to label that as ones. But we notice that because this is the ones place, they have equal value. They're 0 and 0. So now, because they're equal, we can't determine which number is bigger based on that place in these numbers. So we're going to look, dun, dun, dun. We're going to decimal land, all right? We're going to parts of a whole land. So that we realize that to the right of that decimal, these numbers are no longer whole numbers. They're smaller than a whole. And so we identify that first place as what? What is the first place after the decimal? Kenzie, talk to me.
After the decimal,
Uh-huh.
the 1. I mean, that would be the 10th place.
Correct. That is the 10th place. And then the next place value after the 10th is going to be the? Right, the hundredths. All right? So we've got this labeled, and we go back to that 10th place. Because that 10th place, I have a 1 and I have a 0. And how many of you know the difference between having no money and having 1? Big difference, right? 1 is always going to be greater than 0. That is connecting this to structure that you've grown up with. So we now know that 1/10 is greater than 5/100ths. If you want to practice some more, you can do this problem right here.